2, 1, and we're live. Hello, and welcome to Kosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs Amakosi Football Club. And today we are talking about Itumeleng Khune and Sifiso Hlanti, two of the players that have contract abo running out this coming June, right? So we'll discuss their contract extensions, and I want to hear what you guys think about this thing, the extension yama contract alabadlali boba too, because in other weeks we were talking about Tuguti they will be leaving, but then seems like situations have changed, and we'll discuss that more in this video during the show. But for now, let's do the normal things that we should be doing. Number one, please like the video so that more people can find the video and see the video. Number two, just subscribe to the channel, please, if you're not subscribed. In this channel, we speak everything that has to do with Kaizer Chiefs. We preview matches, we react to matches, and we just talk about things like this, the news that have to do with the Kaizer Chiefs. So please do subscribe for such content. If you're already a subscribed member of this channel, you can become a member by clicking on the link that is on the pinned comment. And then it's only 20 rands. You get early access to content, loyalty badges, and priority reply to your comments. It's only 20 rands, and that's all that it is. So thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. Thank you to everyone who is a member. Right. So let's start with Khune, because if you are a regular member of this channel, if you are not, you can go check the other videos that I'm referring to. I have literally made 2 videos this week that had something to do with the goalkeeper. The first one was the Chiefs being linked with Jody February, right? With Sundowns, who's currently playing for Amazulu, right? And then there was the other one that was talking about Uguti, Brosi, they might keep him, stuff like that, and all these things that are all over the place. But now, in a twist of events, all of a sudden, apparently, Chiefs, according to About Disky Times, they will be renewing a contract Khune. To me, this makes me think, okay, let's try and be logical about this. Okay, so why would the Chiefs renew a contract Khune? I will tell you why. So the first thing is this. The one thing that Khune might be kept for the next season is because when Chiefs started wanting all these other goalkeepers or being linked with all these other goalkeepers, Uvuma wasn't having a good season. Our defense was leaking goals all over, and then Khune came in and didn't make much of a difference, right? So at that moment, Chiefs were at a point where they were like, we need to find a goalkeeper who's going to come and be good for us, right? So that's the logic. Let's get a goalkeeper who's going to be good for us. So they go around Goalkeeper Richards Bay, they go to Abu Jody February, and all these other goalkeepers that we're linked with. But Peterson comes along and then he starts performing really well. And then that's where we can see now, okay, now we have a goalkeeper who is a starter. But now the problem is, where are we going to go to get a backup goalkeeper? Because Uvuma is not playing that great. Ubontle is still getting ready from his development, and he hasn't played that many games in the senior team. As such, you have 2 goalkeepers who are kind of not ready and to take over as number 1. But you have Khune who can be there and can perform in the team and be like a solid backup to Peterson. Because if you take out to Peterson and you put Khune in a team that also has good defenders, then he's going to do well because he's still a good goalkeeper, regardless of how he's done in recent games. So now, Vele, already you're in a situation where you're like, okay, so goalkeeper is no longer a big deal for us to try and sign him. As such, let's keep Khune for this season, and then next season, if we see ukuthi the problem still persists yokuthi maybe Vuma is still not performing, maybe Umleaf is still not ready yet, then we can say, okay, now we need to go out and spend the money on other goalkeepers or on another goalkeeper who can actually give the Chiefs something different or who can actually do better for the Chiefs. You get me? So I think there is a big factor, a huge factor. The thing yokuthi our season was fluctuating when it came to our goalkeeper earlier on in the season. So that was the situation. But another thing is that going forward, if you look at the Chiefs, and I know good, I always talk about good experience sometimes is overrated, especially with us South Africans. But I would say Uguti going forward, Khune, what I've seen, even his presence just around the squad, is that he doesn't seem like a disgruntled person. Uguti, I'm not starting, so I'm mad. So our vibes around the team are clearly affecting the other players in a positive way. So if you have a player in Khune who is there in the team and is actually showing Uguti they are there to help him get a build, and they are not actually trying to, go behind his back and get him fired, then he's a good person to then keep. I will say though, Uguti, to me, it still feels like he could have still done that as part of the technical team. Because if you keep him as a player, then you are delaying the progress of us trusting the goalkeepers that we already have. Because if we delay it this season, it's eventually gonna happen. We are going to find someone. We have to find someone also replace Khune, not even Khune as a number one goalkeeper, but someone who's going to replace Khune as just a goalkeeper who has left the team, right? So I think Mina, into that we need to do is to just admit to good, okay, Khune is very important to us still, but let's move him on and have him do something else within the technical team, so his positive vibes and influence can still be there and can still affect the players that we have without him being kept as a player and getting the ridiculous, well, not ridiculous, he's actually earned the amount of money that he's getting. So without him getting the amount of money that he's getting, he can just be a goalkeeper coach and stick with that, and then we can now say, okay, let's trust Ubontle in this game and see how he does, and then we see what, okay, the boy is getting better, rotate the keepers here and there, although that sounds stupid, but then again, you can test your keepers to see if they are ready or not to be in that position. So I would say if they do extend the contract Khune, I will just say, okay, yeah, sure, I won't complain and say what a bad decision. But if they don't renew the contract and end up keeping him as a goalkeeper coach, then I understand. So I think in the build-up, with Khune. Let me see some of the comments. So Usemba is saying not a problem. That's good. Abfi is always just saying Kaizer Chiefs is winning. Ukhupuzo is saying hola Mpilo Nation. Hola Khuputso. And then Umpo is saying hola Mpilo, hola Kosi Nation. Awe. Unaiti hola Mpilo Nation. Oh. Shayikhwela abantu balele. Anyways, Ublade who says, can we keep Khune at least as an assistant goalkeeper coach? Yeah, it's the thing that I'm saying, Guti. Khune position yakhe should just be there. Ekubeni goalkeeper coach. Abe nje ne position solid ukuthi this is what he does in the team. He's a goalkeeper coach and that's where he's at and that's what he does for the team, without us having to say, oh, he's still a player, he's still sitting on the bench. Umuntu who's supposed to be on the bench is Ubvuma as a debutant. It's a deputy, yes. Deputy or deputy for Peterson. Not to Khune, not because he's bad, but it's just time for him to move on. Mandla is saying Khune looks like one of them Daungs right now. He just seems home. But if you think about it, if you stay in a workplace for that long, like 16 years, is it 16? It's a long time, man. Yeah, 16 years with Chiefs, right? No, I'm trying to calculate. Since 2006, right? Yeah. So let's like 17 years now. That's a long time. That's a long time. That's an entire lifetime for some people who are watching this streaming. And I'm kidding. But it's a long time. It's a long time. Cooks is saying good point played. Specifically is saying I think Chiefs should help Khune get his coaching license instead of renewing his contract and being the technical team, whether it's development or the first team. And you remember Guti Velona specifically, we saw the thing the other time where Khune was attending that coaching class and stuff like that, and it looks serious, and we're like, okay, Khune is getting ready to retire and stuff like that. So I think Khune, I'm hoping ukuthi indaba ye-coaching license yakhe has been continuing vele, because like that's what makes sense at this point. That's what makes sense ukuthi Khune at 36 turning 37 this year, he should be preparing himself for life after football, and he has a position with Chiefs, because even as we speak right now, as far as I'm aware, our goalkeeper coach is not permanent but is an assistant. I mean, is interim. I don't remember them making him permanent. So I think Khune has a position at Kaizer Chiefs, and he can take it, or he can be part of that if they insist on having multiple goalkeeper coaches. So I agree with you. Hopo's is saying I agree with Blade. I don't want him in the squad, but I would have him in the team. Agreed. Who the football world says get Makula Obtelezi from Galaxy, loan Bavuma out to Galaxy, add Khune as a technical member. Ayazi ngoba ukhuluma ngobuthelezi we-TS Galaxy. I was actually who else was commenting about Khosimbekezeli. He likes ubuthelezi and he always talks about ubuthelezi. You are the second who you are talking about ubuthelezi as well. I'm just not sure ukuthi adding a goalkeeper to our team will help us that much. I do think competition should just increase, but I feel like if you bring on Makula, who's playing regularly at Richards Bay, I don't think Chiefs can promise him to start. I don't think we can promise Ubtelezi to start at Chiefs. And I doubt ukuthi, unless they are promised real money like imali, I doubt they will just come to Chiefs unless they change imali. So it's an interesting one. I think that is why Chiefs is probably keeping Khune as well. Good, they're avoiding all these complications. Well, that's if they end up keeping him. Umpo is saying Khune should teach these other keepers how to distribute. Bella Itu is nice Guleo department. Distribution Khune is second to none, guys. As his second, I would only say Ederson, who keeper who has come up in recent years nakhona, who has been a better distributor of the ball. But Khune shame angeke futhi now Ederson mnandi ngalama long range over there. But Ederson mnandi, but he's from Brazil, so you'd understand. And then Uswelihle Mkhize is saying hello Mpilo, they must keep Khune but decrease his money, or they must keep Khune for coaching goalkeeper and ask Khune to go look for a better goalkeeper. Obvuma are not serious. As I watched Obvuma guys yesterday, retraining in the video, I saw him praying before going into the. I'm like, as these guys, I'm sure they try. But the way the fans are talking about them, it's like they don't even try. Some value can blame them. They look like they're not even trying. I get where you're coming from. Anyways, 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes we've talked about Khune. It's time to move on to Hlanti. By the way, if you have not liked the video, do the right thing. Please like the video. If you have not subscribed, also do the right thing. Subscribe. Thank you. And just comment letting me know what you think about indaba kaSifiso Hlanti. So, uHlanti Hlanti, it confuses me in the back, right? It confuses me in a way that it came against Stellenbosch, and knowing the quality that he possesses makes me think, okay, he could probably go for another year, right? It makes me think like that. Also, the fact that even if we do move Udove to the left back next season, because we'll have Utitlokwe playing as a centre back alongside Umsimango, so that means Udove will move to a left back, and I think Udove, I would have him over Hlanti, which then means Udove can still be a starter, alright, and then Hlanti can be backup, and then who's this guy? The boy Omega Mdaga can be the third option. I get that why they would be keeping him for that reason, and also the second reason why they are keeping him is because of the fact that you just need depth. Someone gets injured and then someone else needs to come in, because as we've established this, Uguti Hlanti, I mean, Umdaga is not really ready to play. Not to mention to play in the senior team, because the other reason that we've been touching on is the fact that system yet development and system yet senior team I find. So we can't just say, oh, since Umdaga has been promoted, Umdaga is now going to start. You know, we can't say that, right? So I think extending a contract Hlanti does make sense in that regard. I don't even know why I was saying what I was saying earlier on, because I even said this in the other video where I was talking about Umdaga being promoted to a senior team. Uguti, you still need Hlanti in the team, because right now Chiefs cannot say we have money to sign a left back. It's something that can only happen next season, because this season we need to be focusing right now at this point. Right now we need to be getting 2 defensive midfielders, not makeshift, can play as an attacking midfielder, but can also no. We just want a defensive midfielder, 2, not 1. 2 defensive midfielders, and then on top of that we need a striker. So we need those 3 options to be there for Chiefs. For me, that's what I think we need. We definitely need those 3 players to be there with Chiefs. 2 defensive midfielders, and then a striker, maybe another winger, because I feel like with the attacking midfielders, with the central midfielders, we're oversaturated. So at this point, we just need a defensive midfielder, and then we need attacking midfielder. I mean, a winger, because I at this point I don't want to say a winger, because I feel like we also have Pulemodi, and then we're going to sign another winger probably. I know it's not gonna be Mayo, probably not Mendieta. I don't know who, but I know we're going to need a winger. I'm saying not Mendieta because of the money that has been the money that has been put on his head. That's how much he's worth. So I think Chiefs, because of how they can't prioritize Hlanti, I mean a left back this season, they might have to do the same thing, which is the same thing I was saying about Tupilat in the other video, but you'll have to go and watch it in full. You can go watch that video. Anyways, and then let me read some comments. Cooks is saying, Mina, I don't have a problem with Vuma. He will grow as a second option. Mina, I've seen the guy saving us when we're playing in Champions League. Yeah, so that's another thing, Mina, that I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about Vuma. I know Vuma makes mistakes, guys. I know that for a fact. But I feel like a lot of us are forgetting what Vuma has done for Chiefs, or what Vuma did for Chiefs during the Champions League run. I Vuma guys in those days. Vuma is safe game. Yes. Vuma at that time, I was like, yeah, Vuma, you are ready. But somehow I don't know what has happened this season. So it's weird how he just fell off the season as a goalkeeper. And then Ubra Fox is saying Chiefs doesn't need a keeper, especially a foreign keeper, because we need that foreign spot for an on-field player. Exactly, like we can't. I think ubani bekhuluma nguMagula, because if we sign uMagula, then we are basically using a foreign spot for someone who will be sitting on the bench, which in my opinion is just a waste. Yeah. And then Sandile is saying, as for me, all these goalkeepers is not make sure. I only trust Peterson. Keep Khune, release Vuma, then get Real Peters release Molifa, get Cape Town goalie who's under 23. Then we have a department. So many changes, Sandile. It's war. This is this is too much. This is too much. And then Hlanti is saying, I would rather have him as a goalkeeper coach instead to renew his contract as a goalkeeper. Let's just admit that we can't rely on him anymore. Yabo Hlanti Uthio. Those are the two most direct people we have in this community. They will just say someone must go, and Timpelo, stop beating around the bush. Khune must go. That's what you're basically saying right now. Who Evans is saying congratulations to Sundowns, the Yellow Nation machine. Yeah. Congratulations, Sundowns. I was basically saying I think Hlanti should leave because there is high possibility Dove will play as a left back. It will be hard for him to bench Dove, and Hlanti has given us half performances this season. Yeah, but when especially in a way, I agree with the part Yoguti he has been giving us half performances. However, if Guguti he was just giving us bad performances or half performances because he hadn't adapted to the system, and the game is still in Porsche is something to go by, and knowing the quality that he has is something to go by, and knowing Uguti there is no other backup after him. You see Uguti where I'm going with this. Uguti, if we're playing in the Champions League and we're playing in the PSL, or we're playing in the CAF Confederations Cup and we're also playing in the PSL, we cannot risk having Dove playing as a left back and then Umdaga being his reserve, because the next thing you know is Frosler is going to be playing as a left back. And then what happens if Solomons gets a red card, Frosler gets an injury? So now you don't have a right back and you also don't have a left back. Now you have a problem. You have, because injuries, they just happen sometimes. You just get 5 injuries to defenders and you're like, because you remember what happened like in the game. I think we're playing against a chip now. Yeah, I think it was a chip where Frosler got injured and then Solomons was brought on and then I got injured. So these things happen. I am all for it depth. I am all for it depth. And I think Hlanti will be comfortable enough with knowing Uguti he's the second, he's backup for Dove, and he will still be adding something to Chiefs. Dun. Umandla is saying, I don't know how Chiefs will win and I don't care how, they must just win. I won points in the last 6 games of the league. Lady saying ingathi bathi yakhala esayizelayo after training abadlali bethu. Uqinisile uBlade, and for those of you who don't speak Zulu, he's saying basically our players just celebrate leaving the training and they don't, no one puts in extra work afterwards. Sometimes it has looked like that in a lot of games, like when you think about the technique, but we see it improve because we saw better shots on target against Stellenbosch. We just saw I take these minor improvements that I see and run with them, because if I can just focus on the negative things that these guys do, I will go crazy. I will stop even making content for this channel, because I shame. Even if you know what you have to make a video, after they lose, shame, you just feel like, what do I do with myself? So that's why I always try to look for the positive things that I can say, otherwise I'll lose my mind. Hupoto is saying Hlanti deserves a contract. The guy is quality defensively, and the Steelers game convinced me that we haven't really seen him give us his all. Agreed, definitely agreed. We just need to see more performances from him, Hlanti. Lady saying Kama uzobuya adlale 3 games alimale futhi azabuye ngo-December. Imagine that bam extended the contract and then he gets injured. I would be so disappointed and pissed at the same time. Mandla saying Mina, I'm not forgetting Mvuma, just like I'm not forgetting Matoho, but he must go on loan for some game time. Hayi kodwa ke manje hayi yabona uMandla passive aggressive guys, niyambona uMandla passive aggressive. He's basically saying they had their moments but manje they must go. I am under passive aggressive. We see you, Mandla. So Lihle is saying Hlanti does not do a mistake, so they can keep him. Hlanti always back Mdu or Kasi football. Hlanti backup. Well, Hlanti does make mistakes. Uguti doesn't make the mistakes that lead to goals. He has made some of those, but not as bad as Ukwinika. But what Hlanti would do, Uguti, he rectified against the Stellenbosch. There would be a pass and then we wouldn't play it. That's a mistake because you prevented us from scoring a goal, which is as bad as making a mistake that leads to us conceding a goal. That's a my and then my computer screen is cracked, so I can't see whether it's Bazos or Krazos. It says Bazos. Our goalkeeper's performance changed due to the change of goalkeeper coaching. That might just be true because we've been solid when it comes to a goalkeeper. Maybe that's why Vuma was performing back then. But then I would think, I'm a goalkeeper. That was my best position. That's my best position in football. I just prefer to be a defensive midfield because I like to play Pagat. You don't forget being a goalkeeper. You just, if you are fatigued like I am now, you can maybe lose your ability to dive and do stuff, but you can do it because. So I don't understand how a professional will lose their edge just because they've lost their goalkeeper. Because that means Pelabona they forget how to do their job. And then Umandla is saying the only foreign goalkeeper performance change. The only foreign keeper I can agree with is Peter Lundberg, who played for Cape Town City. Who's playing or who played? Who played is saying I've been on the edge about letting Mvuma go, but he must go, man. How? Because he's not serious about taking after it. I think Mvuma has had his chance to take over, but failing to take over, I think, is the reason why some people are turning against him. For some reason, I think I'm still attached to what he did for us with Champions League. He almost won us that thing if it wasn't for Baxter. Unaz is saying, let's keep Hlanti for another year, just so the young Mdaga can get used to playing in the first team, even though he's deputizing for Dove. We need that. Usolihle is saying, Pilo, sorry for taking you back, but I want Chiefs to keep Kama because Kama will step up next season because of the competition, and knowing Kama under Sundowns with competition, he stepped up. Our Solihle has another problem people have with Kama, like who played was saying, is not necessarily whether he will step up or not, but is how much will his injuries affect him. That's another problem that people have with Kama. He will come back, he will play, and then the other problem is that he will then start having another injury. So I think that what becomes the problem for people. But I think with an improved team and knowing not all the weight will be entirely on him, then we might see a different Kama, hopefully. By the way, if you haven't liked the video, this is the time. This is a very good time to like the video. If you haven't subscribed, also this is a good time to subscribe and tell YouTube, hey, we like this content, so show it to more people like us. So yeah, thank you so much to those people who have liked the video. Let me see streams after the poll ukuthi what did people say. Well, how did people vote? So we had 57 votes and 73% of people said Khune should extend, and only 26% said Khune should go. We have come to the end of the show, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Easter weekend. I will see you on the match preview video, and then I will see you again on the match day, and I will try to do a watch along on that game. Sorry for the comments I didn't read, but we will try by all means to make sure to read everyone. We will try to read everyone's comments, but again, I'm a members button, I'm a priority reply. This is where membership comes in. Peter Umanda saying Peter plays in the Dutch first division with the likes of Ajax and Feyenoord, but he recently said he would come back to SA if the man is right. Abona Joe man is writing up. Uplay is saying don't bring Champions League conversation back Mpilo because we'll bring Mashiane Ishaning again Mashiane, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on the next video, and until next time, go check out the other videos that I've published on the channel. Iko si Ali Pelumoy.